Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we continue on with our realm reviews for the Rjurik expansion. Today we're moving into a preview of the next main section here, which is covering the Northlands, which will really feature some interesting realms, a couple of playable ones, but also a couple of the major NPCs and essentially bad guys of the whole expansion setting here. So let's just jump right in. Distant, cold, and wooded, the Northlands are far less populated than the quote-unquote cosmopolitan Tailshore, and are among the most dangerous places on the continent, which is saying something considering we've covered the Voss areas, due to the constant threat of the White Witch and the Bloodskull Orogs, as I mentioned again, two of the major antagonist forces of the whole area. Roughly defined as those realms lying north of the Hjaring and west of the Sidhebarn rivers, the Northlands central region contains dense ancient forests that are home to humans, humanoids, and monsters, and that harbor many old ruins, stone circles, and places of magical power that remain untapped and unexploited. The cold north coast of Cerelia is windswept tundra, grassy and green in summer, frozen and snow-clad in winter. Here the Thalassian sea tosses uneasily, and a few Rjurik make their living as sealers and whalers venturing forth in hide-covered boats, armed with only harpoons to wrest a bear living from the north, the gray, unforgiving sea in the north here. The Northlands are largely trackless wilderness, where travel is difficult or impossible without a skilled guide. In summer, travel is on foot or horse, while during winter, Rjurik who must travel are forced to do so by sleigh, dog sled, skis, or snowshoes. Even then, travel in winter is tricky and potentially deadly. Most of the Northlands were once under the control of the elves of the Birthright, a proud kingdom of great antiquity. These elves were among the most distant and haughty of their race, rejecting contact with even their elven cousins elsewhere on the continent, which is saying something for the elves in this setting. At their arrival of the Rjuven, they reacted harshly, driving the humans from their forests and just killing mercilessly. The newcomer humans responded in kind, establishing what eventually became the modern Rjurik states, and driving the elves in turn deeper and deeper into the wilderness, into their last stronghold. The much shrunken kingdom is still called Birthright, but it retains only a fraction of its past beauty, glory, and power. Now, the Rjurik of the Northlands typify the traditional image of their hardy race, so most are nomads, strong, toughened by their environment, skilled as trackers, hunters, and warriors, and independent and distrustful of, again, the quote-unquote civilized world and its decadent ways. For years prior to the Battle of Mount Deismar, the Northlands were wild and unsettled, home to humanoids, animal herds, and small bands of these Rjuven nomads. After the catastrophic destruction of the gods and the birth of their successors, the land changed irrevocably. The Bloodskull Orogs, long disorganized and ignored, became a powerful force of chaos and destruction. The White Witch, already a powerful wizard, discovered her Anshe powers and drew many of the Rjurik tribes under her influence to establish one of the largest kingdoms in all of Cerelia, which we'll get to actually in the very next video. In response, the modern kingdoms of Jönköping and Höganmark were created, though many of their jarldoms existed, as they do today, in name only, remaining largely unpopulated and ravaged by the elements. Their chief residents are reindeer herds and solitary Foimorians, a type of ice giant, trolls and other creatures with only the occasional human visitor. The White Witch is clearly the most powerful political entity in the region, expertly managing her isolated but expansive realm and spreading her malign influence throughout the Northern Highlands and beyond. And again, we'll get to her next. So a fun realm, which really, again, we're kind of teetering on the edge of civilization, even more so than just in general with the Rjurik realms. This is the far north, and just as harsh as we saw some of the Voss territories, we're basically that far north here again, with the Rjurik on kind of the far northwest of the continent. So we'll get to that in the next video with the White Witch, but for now, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, hit us up on Patreon too. We love all the support there, and we'll have some exclusive Birthright and other D&D content on there for you as well. So consider giving us a little bit of support on there, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.